Hello everyone. Welcome back to Misfits Racing League action. I hope everyone has had a fantastic week off as we are finally back to racing for the final stint of the 5th season. Of course, we now enter the 11th round and we're here around Paul Ricard. It is France around Le Castellet, of course, and well, let's take a look. 15 turns, 5.8 kilometers, the circuit. It is a very intense, fast-paced circuit, so we'll have to see how these drivers do today with the utilization of DRS as well. And without further ado, we'll look at this very quick schedule as we look at Spain next week already, Austria, Mexico, and then Brazil following that through to round 15. Man, we're already through to the final third of the season, and what a action-packed season it has been. We take a look at the standings. Diego Surf, Johnny Disco, and Vlad Putin, the top three. And of course, there's a major fight going on between Diego Surf and Johnny Disco right now. You can see 18 points separating the pair of them. Well, we'll just have to see how they get into it as we already have ourselves loading into France for a short qualifying as well. You can see things very intense in that midfield as well. Graz, Henner's combined, YouTuber, Jimsy. Well, let's take a look. Come into now. Will be 18 minutes of qualifying. These racers have had the roll of the dice, if you will, for the weather, and as far as the eye can see, rain here. Of course, I am solo this evening, and well, I'll do my very best to bring you through all of the action. But without that, let's take a look at all of the drivers on the grid. 18 minutes counting down, 17 and a half, and we have Gazieg at the top of the timing tower. We have Henners for Williams, Diego Surf for Alfa Romeo. It is Captain Minor in the Mercedes. Then we have combined YouTuber for Alfa Romeo as well as Gazieg, if I am not mistaken, for McLaren. We have Hello I'm Hacker here for Aston Martin, Larkin over there for Mercedes, Spanini and Deng Wu for Alpine. Sidewinder Vlad Putin for Red Bull, respectively, with Cattle King in the other Haas. Wordad for Williams. Duffeld for Aston Martin. It's Johnny Disco in the McLaren. Paula Brady, of course, in the Alpha Tauri. And then we have Graz and Wafflorian, who is now into the Ferrari seat full time. Best of luck to Wafflorian. And Jay Forsai, of course, over at AlphaTauri squad to round out these racers on the grid. First driver out onto circuit, Cattle King in the Haas, and I am being told in the chat by Mr. Henners and Mr. Ghazi that we're going to be having rain in 10 minutes in this qualifying, and we're going to be having a wet to dry campaign in the race. So, well, fasten your seat belts. This is going to be quite interesting. Cattle King, first driver out in the Haas, of course, will be flowing through turn 11 right now, and turn 11, a very fun sweeping right-hander, and well, let's take a look at a lap with Cattle King as he actually begins his full run. Alrighty, pushing now, DRS wide open on the rear wing. Pushing as hard as he can through across the line into turn 1, dropping things into 4th gear, hugging tight to the inside as he pushes through the first and second turns, now through into turn 3. Navigating things well. Turns 5 and 6. Turn 7. Solid run here. This will be the first run that hits the timing tower in 289. Hender's in front, pulling off to the inside on his outlap right now. into turn 10. Very fast right-hander. Coming down through turn 11. Turn 12. Solid run here so far coming out of Cattle King. On the soft compound tires. Pushing to the line. The Haas driver. 29.835. This time coming through. We'll have to take a look. Johnny Disco potentially. Here comes Johnny. 29.473 from the McLaren. Besting the Haas for the moment as Graz jumps in between. 29.672 coming out of the Ferrari. Gauzieg. An absolute rarity coming through the lap on the board here. It's a 31.8. Feeling adventurous today. Henners with an invalidation through 8.9. He is not going to be happy about that in the Williams. Hello, I'm Hacker on the move. Jay Forsai. Well, there's a nice solid run coming out of him. 29.936 to set himself into contention, and a good mate of his in the Aston Martin here. And hello, I'm Hacker. Well, he will be pushing through to the line now. Where can he stand in comparison to Jay? It is right behind Jay for the moment at 30.7. Vlad Putin now goes 5th quickest, and he does so on the medium compound tire. Many drivers pushing right now. Captain Miner is one of them in the Mercedes, as we have a few other drivers coming through to the line. That was Spanini going 5th quickest, going ahead of Larkin. Larkin in 6th. Current separation in the field, 1st to 5th, 7/10. First down to 10th, 2.4. Victor Diaz, 5th position for him. Paula Brady, 31.151 also. Second driver in this session to get a medium run in here. We are at a 29.181, excuse me, for provisional pole. That comes out of Mr. Dieg Surf, the championship leader in the Alfa Romeo. Here comes Captain Miner. 8th position provisionally, just ahead of Larkin. It's a 30.207. Wafflorian beginning a flyer right behind him. Wafflorian in his debut race, flying for the Scuderia Ferrari right now. Big invalidation coming through turn 3. Captain Miner. Well, solid lap from him. Let's take a look at combined YouTuber. Alfa Romeo. Here we go now, combine to the line. Third. Very quick, and we've seen him tight in these qualifying to his teammate recently. Combine showing fantastic speed in this division. Dangwoo flying right now in the Alpine. Florian unclear as to whether he will be beginning another run. No, he will not. He will be flying into the pit lane. Paula setting a second run, at the very least, across that line on the medium compound tire, according to our tower. 5-10 on an outlap, looking to improve on his medium run. Ooh, Paula. Bit of an issue there on the medium compound tires on the way into the pit lane. Gets things back around. Cattle King was the first of the flyers in the session, currently improving by just shy of 2.5 tenths. Benini has just been disqualified from the session, ladies and gentlemen, for blocking the pit lane, and I'm unclear as to why that has occurred. Honestly, I don't know how he's been able to do that. Pushing through sector 3 right now, giving it everything into the pit lane for Mr. Cattle King. Oh yeah. Tiny Disco on the move. A lot of racers looking to do some improving. Duffeld looking to get a time on the board. 13th position for the Aston Martin at 30.562. Sidewinder coming through turn 15. Where can he land himself in the Red Bull? Well, it is on the rear of Gazieg at 33.569. And as things stand, it looks like he is beginning a run. Vlad Putin, excuse me, the other Red Bull, 29.395 into the front row. Looking very quick and very threatening. The Egg Surf right now. Currently 5.5 minutes remaining in the session. Will he respond to that in any capacity to try and further push things ahead in that pole position? While Florian, one of two drivers remaining with the eligibility to set a time in this session. Current separation on this grid, first down to 11th position is 1 second, and that is Captain Minor in 11th. Really holding on that potential retire choice, excuse me, as we have another driver jumping into the top 10. That was Sidewinder 303. The other Red Bull 29.593 coming out of him. Waffalorian navigating through into sector 3. Waffalorian jumping a 31.506 onto the board. Henner is now the only driver with no lap here in the qualifying. Larkin in the Mercedes is pushing. A lot of traffic right now on this straight here. Pushing into the 8-9, and that's just a lot. That is a ton of traffic, to say the least. It's 3 cars there. Alrighty, into the pit lane we go. Oh, that's solid P7, 29.628. Ahead of Graz. Graz presently on a fast moving lap into the 8-9. We'll have to see what the Ferrari can do. It is a tight grid. Anyone can really find themselves fighting for podiums in this grid right now as things stand for pace. And when we see this race really kick off, I imagine that will play out. Here comes the DRS now for Graz, pushing to the line, the Ferrari. P3. 29.368, jumping ahead of Vlad Patin. However, Vlad Patin will have a response. 1 minute, 15 seconds remaining in the session as far as our clock was concerned. The Egg Surf is also on a fast mover. 29.181 is what he is looking to improve on. Now through sector 3 into the last couple of turns. Where does this Red Bull land himself? It's been a steady lap. It's been a solid lap. Is it enough? For the front row, yes. Johnny Disco will not be able to contest anything in this qualifying any longer. Word at will. into the pit lane for him. Dieg Surf at 28.955, the only driver in this session to go sub 129. That is a very solid run coming out of the Alpha, indeed. Sidewinder, and he finds something here in Sector 3. According to the Delta, he was not finding anything heavily. In fact, he was not improving through Sector 2. Well, that will wrap up the qualifying session. Let's take a look at the classification now. All right, so of course, pole position goes to the Alfa Romeo. It is Dieg Surf 128.955. Vlad Butin in the Red Bull, just shy of 3/10 on the rear. In the front row at 29.237. Henners, the Englishman in the Williams, at 29.267. Very tight to the rear. Vlad Butin there in third. It is the pair of Americans 4-5, Victor Diaz and Graz, McLaren and Ferrari, respectively, in a very tight spot. And that is what you love to see. Drama, rain, slick conditions. Drivers are most definitely, most absolutely, critically not prepared. They're not prepared for this. They are not prepared. Wet conditions, wet tires, to dry condition. What is the setup you decide to choose? And what is the strategy at the very least? These are the questions swirling around in the heads of these racers right now. We have 20 racers lining up for absolute draft. Welcome to Formation, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at the tires. Of course, it is going to be full wets, I imagine, for everybody. No adventurers. No one going on to the inners. I saw an entire field of inners once, however, with a adventure on the wets, and I'll tell you right now, it was not a wise adventure for said explorer, etc., etc. Now, let's take a look once again. Dieg Surf, pole position for the Alfa Romeo, leading this championship, sets himself into a very good position to continue to do so, don't you think? Vlad Putin looking to strike there in the Red Bull. We have Henners, the Englishman, in third. Victor Diaz, fourth. Graz in. Then, of course, we move down three out of the top five to the Australian. Joining us in the division, Mr. Combined YouTuber, who has been absolutely deadly this latter stages of the season. And he is a very, very fast driver to contend with, to say the least. Now, with that, we have Johnny Disco right behind him. Wordad, Sidewinder, we have Paula Brady in the AlphaTauri. Then we have Deng Wu for Alpine. Cattle King, Jay Forsai, Captain Minor, and Larkin. Pair of Mercedes there, 14-15. We have Hello, I'm Hacker for Aston Martin with Duffeld in the other one, number 36. We'll say one thing here. Mr. Gaziek did set a lap in qualifying. Please, ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for the Canadian, as that is an absolute rarity out of my dear friend. Waffalorian making his debut full-time here for the Scuderia. We'll have to wish him well. He qualified on the rear of Gaziek. Spinini, well, a very unfortunate situation for the Alpine racer, as he was disqualified from the qualifying by race control for, well, as they cited it, blocking the pit lane exit. The pit lane exit? I do believe it was the exit. Now, well, in any case, it was very unfortunate. See that? That said, welcome to the grid. Diego Surf Lapid in the front row. It is Alfa Romeo versus Red Bull. Who'd have thought I'd be saying that? Of course, we have Henners in the Williams right behind, with Victor Diaz in the McLaren and Graz to round out the top 5 once again here in the Ferrari. Welcome to Circuit Paul Ricard. It is, of course, Le Castellet. It is the French Grand Prix. Welcome to France. 3, 4, 5 red lights here in France. The racers are away. The slick conditions presenting tough starts for the majority. However, Diego Surf and Vlad Patin are going wheel to wheel already as we come in to turn 1. Vlad Patin around the outside. The Canadian says hello to Diego Surf. And man, oh man, Canadians are used to slick conditions, but that was a very daring move coming out of Vlad Patin. Wow, you love to see stuff like that. Diego Surf going deep and a little bit wide here with the rejoin. Henners closing the door. That's the championship leader round. Henners, oh my. That was some very, very interesting stuff to see right there. Diego Surf with the rejoin. Unclear if there's any damage. Paula Brady, 9th position. Word at in 10th. Henners, Vlad Patin wheel to wheel. Henners is in the lead of this race, jumping ahead of Vlad Patin. Henners in the Williams on a charge. So much energy being utilized here for Vlad Patin now on the inside as we come through turn 10. This is scary stuff. Very scary stuff. Diego Surf, Gazieg 15 and 16 has been exchanged for as Diego Surf tries to fight his way back up through the grid. Cattle King and Spinini, there's an exchange between the pair. 18th now for the Alpine. Back now, Werdad, Jay Forsai, 10th position right now for him. Wow, so much exchanging on the opening lap of this race. You would not think it's raining. First major yellow there, Dang Wu. What has happened to him now? He is sitting on turn 15, waiting for traffic, and now he's staring at Larkin. Oh my! That is a mess. That is a mess. Werdad under threat. Captain Minor absolutely sitting in his rearview mirror in these conditions, presenting challenges for everybody so far here in the grid. Let's take a look at the position changes here early on. Of course, you can see in and around the top 10, we'll say, 4 drivers holding station. Vlad Patin in second. However, he did have an absolute rocket launch to dispatch Diego Surf. Henners had other plans for the Alfa Romeo. Then we have Victor Diaz in 4th, Graz in 5th, and then we have combined YouTuber as Captain Minor and Werdad nice and tight as we come through 8 and 9. But I'll say one thing right now. Diego Surf down 12 positions. It is a tough start for the championship leader. Werdad really not being given any breathing space right now from Captain Minor. While Florian Benini in exchange between the Alpine and Ferrari. Take a look at Johnny Disco, who has made up a massive number of positions, up 4 positions. He is amongst the largest gainers in this race. Of course, Jay Forsai joins him, William Hacker, and Spinini. They are all in the gaining of the 4 positions club, if you will. Captain Minor, Werdad. There's a VSC deployed, and I am unclear as to why. Find out momentarily. Anyone with significant damage could very well be a clear-cut indicator. Waffalorian with no wing could also be a clear-cut indicator. Yeah, that's probably what happened there. Let's see. Maybe. As a result of that. We are, as far as I am aware, expecting to see dry conditions Now, considering we are at full wet conditions right now, we are going to see quite the dynamics unfold in this race, I do believe, in the reference to tire strategy. Now, look at this. Oh my god. Oh my. Waffleorian, ladies and gentlemen, has not only had to pit due to a front wing being severely damaged, but he has now taken a drive-through penalty on this speeding on the way out. Cattle King Duffeld, there's been an issue. The Haas and Aston Martin now dropping to some very low positions in the field. Sidewinder and combined, they exchange combined, notably, well, wing damage for the Alfa Romeo. He's lost another position, and you can see 5 seconds between him and Graz. Henners, Vlad Putin, Johnny Disco, Victor Diaz, Graz, Sidewinder now, slowly pulling himself back in here. All within close formation for potential win, potential podium. So it would appear we have a little bit of a timing tower error. Graz now making a move on Victor Diaz. Fourth position is his for now. However, 5 seconds is also his for now. He will serve that in the pit lane. Which is, I think at this stage of the race, I think that is okay. In good pace. Number of drivers into the pit lane here, changing over tires, and you can see combined Waffleorian, Cattle King so far have pit. I have to say it's very difficult to follow in these conditions as well, but things do seem to be lightening up a touch to the point where inners may be an option. Graz. Ooh, that's tight. That is very tight. Henners, Johnny. Oh, Johnny under threat there, but of course Vlad Putin and Henners, more importantly, exchange for the lead of this race. Vlad Putin taking charge in the Red Bull right now. Henners looking for a way through. Henners looking. Oh, he thought about it. Graz under threat right now from Victor. Sidewinder 44.910 fastest lap. He's sitting on the rear view mirror of Victor right now. Meanwhile, Dieg Surf looking at Jay Versai. You can see he's dropped 9 positions. He was the pole sitter. Not giving away anything in this race, however. Taking every opportunity he can. And speaking of opportunities, Johnny Disco wheel to wheel with Henners. Tight right now around the outside as we come through 9. Oh, this is a very tight wheel-to-wheel exchange between Henners and Johnny Disco. Henners holding on to second position, dropping a ton of time to Vlad Putin ahead. And this battle is doing nothing for them in comparison to what it's doing for Vlad Putin. Nearly 2 seconds the gap. Johnny keeping that pressure on right now, and Graz is there as well. Johnny Disco pulls the trigger into the pit lane with an undercut here, going for the inters. Is that the call? That is a big question right now. Is it time for intermediate compound tires? He says yes. Duffeld also pulled the trigger. Sector 3 brings us a yellow. Curious as to whom. Unclear as to why. Henner's under threat from Graz right now. Graz pushing to the inside as we come into the turn 8, 9. Oh, a little bit of contact here in the wet conditions. Graz tries to get things spun back around. He's been hit by the Red Bull. Sidewinder's gone into him. That's a retirement in the 8-9 chicane. And that is a safety car deployment on lap 7. My, oh my. That was a tough one. Wow. That was a big crash. And Larkin... How did Larkin hit him? Larkin took 5 seconds. Larkin just took 5 seconds for hitting him. Larkin hit Graz. Lipetin into the pit lane. What tires do these drivers go on now? Inners all around, or does someone say dries? Big question. Big question. Does someone say dries? The rain is slowing down. It's a long lap around. Inners, no one says dries. It's gonna be a fast stop back in. Oh man, this is gonna be such a race. Such a race. The strategy is really going to be interesting. Wadgerton will take leadership of this race behind the safety car. Well, that was a very interesting first third of the race. We'll have to see now how all of these drivers fare once bunched back up behind the safety car. With an intermediate condition rolling restart, we saw quite the significant number of position exchanges coming out of the race start and on those opening laps. We'll have to see how they do with this start now. Smanini on the wet compound tires. Curious to see that. Very interesting. All drivers nearly caught up now. We'll be going around. We'll be coming in for. We'll be back to green flag racing on what I do believe will be lap 10. The rain really looking light right now. That much I can say. It looks really light. All right. Ghazi with the retirement. Fortunate to see, but as he's mentioned, lopped down with the ability to unlap himself in the current conditions and under safety car. What a wild race. So much overtaking in that opening few laps. Then things quieted down, and then we saw Graz. An unfortunate issue there. A little bit of contact. In. And then the other, it's rain too. Very difficult to slow down in this. But it was Sidewinder, I do believe, that hit him. Very interesting. We are going around behind the safety car again. Wow. So I was mistaken. We'll be back to green flag racing for what will be lap 11. A little bit surprised that we didn't come in there. Dig Surf back into 6th position after that issue with him in pole. Having started this race in pole, dropping to near the rear of the grid. Back into 6th position. What a fight it's been for the championship leader in this race. A number of drivers gaining significant positions here. Hacker up 6 positions. Captain Miner up 7 positions. Paul Brady up 6 positions, of course, as well. 4th position for Paul, a great position. Victor Diaz. Well, Victor Henners. Vlad, everybody's moved up, really. Because you can see Dig Surf there has dropped 5 from pole at this phase. Safety car finally coming in this lap, and of course Vlad Putin will now slow down this grid at a nice consistent pace to bring everybody across that line for a safety car restart. Putin hammering it out at turn 15 here, trying to find traction on the throttle as he gets the grip with the wet condition. Here comes Henners. Within half a second he catches, and well, I think the entirety of this grid was really locked in there for that. Not a lot he was able to do to really push away, and right now Johnny Disco on the rear of Paula Brady, a tenth between them. The rain's still falling here in France. What a shot we're getting of this action. You can see just on the rear of the McLaren that the Egg Surf under threat from Captain Minor. Deng Wu firing it up on the rear. Jay Forsai as well. Johnny on the rear of Paula, not pulling the trigger. Captain Minor on the rear of Dieg Surf. Everyone tight to the rear of Henners. Henners dropping off of Vlad Putin, and this is critical. Henners cannot do this. Johnny Disco now looking to the inside of Paula. This is tight as we come through turn 10. On the inside, my oh my, Paula Brady comes wide there, but Johnny Disco will push through on the inside of turn 10 and hold it off from Paula Brady pushing out of turn 11. Very daring stuff coming out of that McLaren there. Big Surf, 6th position. Really looking for a way through. Vlad Putin 41.849 fastest lap. Now we have an issue. That is going to be Spanini with, I'm not entirely sure what's happened. It would appear it was a spin of some capacity, as there's no major visible damage as far as our view. Back with Dieg Surf, hunting down Paula, looking for a way through as we come through into turn 8. Now through turn 9, nothing doing just yet. Does he have enough traction on the exit to really push an overtaking opportunity? Well, the Captain Minor has, with the battery really closing the gap to that Alfa Romeo, applying a ton of pressure here. Dieg Surf, Paula Brady, who goes where? Paula Brady under threat. Dieg Surf on the inside. There's a little bit of contact. Captain Minor with the front row seat. Paula Brady holding on to 5th position with everything she's got. Dieg Surf around the outside as we come through turn 12. Oh my. That was a tough one there. That was a real tough one there. Solid stuff coming out of Dieg Surf. A touch of contact. A little bit of hard racing there. The conditions, I mean, who can blame them? Not sure who that fault for the contact there. Henners picks up 3 seconds. That will be very, very large 12 gauge shotgun round 2 is in this. Sure. He is not going to be happy about that. Captain Liner, 2/10 separating him and Paula right now. As we have a yellow flag spark right now, that is going to be, Duffeld would appear to have had an issue at Aston Martin as Victor Diaz and Johnny Disco came. Captain Liner, Paula Brady holding through inside of turn 10. About 14 of 27. Here goes Deng Wu. A fight between him and Jay Forsai. Jay Forsai holding on to 11th position. Aloim Hacker ahead in 10th right now on the inside for Jay. What a fight between this pair and, of course, Jay right now holding on to 11th position. Deng Wu really getting exposed to Larkin. Larkin sees an opportunity. Really tries to... well, sees it, and it doesn't really come through for him just yet. Now back through on the inside. There's contact between them. The Haas pushing through behind. Wow. That is tough. Very tough. Spanini now will get an opportunity. Captain Miner, Paula Brady still waging on this battle. Captain Miner now looking to end it. Pushing through ahead on Paula. 6th position now for the Mercedes. Sidewinder in the rearview mirror of the AlphaTauri. Big snap coming out of the Sidewinder there on the rear of Paula. And that is not something you want to find yourself doing too much. But one thing we can talk about is the rain. I'm fairly certain has gone. Meaning that we are not too far away from what will soon be dry compound tires to the end. That I think I can promise at this phase. Up 15 out of 27, ladies and gentlemen, and now we have a yellow flag popping up in Sector 3. Benini picks up 3 seconds for his efforts in this race. Johnny Disco firing it up on the rear headers right now and looking for a way through on the inside. Nothing doing just yet. Headers exposed under fire here on the exit of turn 9. Battery and utilization just a touch on the exit for Johnny, just to try and find the traction and slipstream on the Williams. Very fast run there for him. Back to Sidewinder on the rear, Paula Brady. Coming through into turn 11. Looking for a way through now is Sidewinder. Dancing off to the inside. There is no way through. Paula Brady narrowly closing that door. Red Bull has to wait for now. Back to Johnny. 2/10 right now and closing that gap. Headers, 3 seconds in time penalty right now for the Williams. .1, .2 just near. is the gap, of course, between Henners and Vlad Putin, and Johnny wanting to really crush that. Henners, the rolling roadblock. Look at the speed coming out of Johnny Disco right there. He showed so much exit speed in comparison. Very clear-cut move for Johnny into turn 8. Neatly done. Meanwhile, Combined and Jay Forsai are wheel-to-wheel as we come through into turn 8. Combined leading ahead just a touch in 10th position, and he will hold on to that for now. Arkin got ahead of Cattle King. Arkin with a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane. Wordat is on his way in. Variety of these drivers on their way in, and mediums coming out of the country. So it is time. DRS has been enabled, so the time for dries has really come through. That has always been a pretty good indicator. I definitely believe it's unfortunate to take a 5-second penalty for speeding if you get that tire change done. There has been now an issue. That was Hello, I'm Hacker with a spin coming out of the pit lane. It fresh meat him. One thing I have to say about this race is there really has been no shortage of action. Now we have the entirety of the race leaders coming into the pit lane. Sidewinder there on his way in with might have been a cut. Panini. What a strategy to pit lane. So busy. Would add 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Just like that, the entirety of this field onto the dry compound tires. However, a differential between the dries. You can see there is a 7 drivers opting for those soft compound tires. The rest of the drivers onto the medium. Victor Diaz now pushing ahead of Paula Brady into 6th position. Victor, a neat move. Softs paying off for the moment. Enters Dieg Surf as Dieg Surf holds on to the inside as we come through turn 11. Captain Miner in on this action with the softs. Henner is not in a very good position right now. Trying to hold a soft runner under threat from a soft runner. Here we go now to the inside. Henner's not a lot of options there to defend against Captain Miner. Good drive so far for the Mercedes. Johnny Disco pushes ahead of Vlad Putin on the soft compound tires. Combined, a YouTuber picks up 3 seconds. You can see a number of drivers with penalties now. Henners combined, Larkin, Wordad, Spanini, Sidewinder, and Dengu all in and amongst the penalty club. Penalty or no penalty, though, it is Alpha versus Alpha, and it is combined, looking to take a position off of fall on track at the very least and hold up a bit of time to the drivers ahead. Battery, DRS in utilization. Dieg Surf now under threat from Captain Miner, and he will pull the trigger. We're on the inside. Captain Miner now into a podium paying position. Captain Miner on lap 20 of 27, currently up 11 positions as he makes his exit through turn 3. Fine, pushing ahead of Paula as we come through into turn 8. There has been a yellow flag, unclear as to whom it is. Like it might have been a word ad. Johnny Disco, Vlad Putin still here in a heated exchange as the mediums will eventually come in potentially versus the softs here on lap 21 right now. Ooh, to the inside, there's a snap coming out of Johnny Disco, Vlad Putin. Immediate advantage taken. Vlad Putin back into lead of this race ahead of Johnny Disco. However, DRS on the rear wing for Johnny, and he is going to breeze back past, but that is a mistake that you do not want to make. They did lose time. The Captain Miner 1.8 now the gap for the Mercedes, who would love to get in on this. Sidewinder, a bit of a snap off the curbing here, exposing himself to Spanini. some tight intervals all the way up this timing tower, and we'll try to snap to one as soon as we get some action. But of course, right now, Sidewinder in 11th position, under threat from Spanini. The exit, not the most ideal, not the most optimal, utilizing a touch of that battery, but majority with the DRS. What a run with the mediums as well. The soft's potentially going to die out here, but another slide off the curb. This is going to really cost him. We're going to snap to now Mr. Vlad Putin on the rear of Johnny Disco. We come through the 8-9. Spanini picks up 3 seconds. Not where you want to be finding yourself with not too much left in this campaign. We're on lap 22 of 27. Johnny Disco. Vlad Putin engaged for the win right now. Well, we speak about Gage. Let's talk about it. Dieg Surf and Captain Miner wheel to wheel. My oh my, what a battle. Captain Miner has been doing so much work, but the championship leader of this division is back, and he is going to try and make a statement and show Captain Miner that he is large and in charge no matter what happens to him at the start of this race. However, Captain Miner says not yet. Ashbet. Here we go. Dieg Surf. Captain Miner. Ooh. Easy done there for Dieg Surf. Not a lot Captain Miner can do in that exchange. However, this will afford Captain Miner DRS coming in through 8-9. And this is going to give him a unique opportunity to potentially hold off the Alfa Romeo. But the longer that they continue to fight off, the longer it will take them to catch up to the front two for a potential race win. Captain Miner says no matter what, he's going to fight. He's going to fight to the bitter end of this, and he knows what he's holding on to. He doesn't care about 1 and 2. He wants the podium. He wants the podium. He wants that top 3 finish. Larkin picks up 3 seconds in what I do believe was an overtake on Paula. What would be ideal is if Johnny and Vlad fought as well. That would really give Captain Miner an opportunity to get into that DRS and really connect this train, bring it into a 4-car fight. And I think it just might happen. Vlad looking for an opportunity to the outside now for Vlad Putin ahead of Johnny Disco around the outside. Up 24 of 27, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, Word Ad now bringing himself into that penalty club even further yet. 9 seconds for him. Penalty's really going to shake up this timing tower as Sidewinder and Spanini exchanging through turn 1 and 2. Big snap for Spanini. There goes Sidewinder punching a hole back through. Vlad Putin, Johnny Disco. Vlad Putin ahead of Johnny Disco. Johnny Disco within 3/10. Captain Miner within 1.5 seconds. Around 1 7/10. Vlad Putin right now, lap 25 of 27. Fight for the race win between this pair. Not too far behind them, there's a fight going on for the final podium position in Captain Minor and Diego Surf right now. Johnny Disco, Vlad Putin, wheel to wheel through turn 8, back through 9. Oh my. What a fight these guys are putting on here. We are now entering the penultimate lap of this race. Vlad Putin leading it. Look at the charge coming out of Johnny here. So much speed with that DRS. The egg surf on the rear of Captain Minor. No answer just yet for Diego Surf and nothing yet for Johnny Disco. Have the mediums finally come in against the softs here? Diego Surf gets through on Captain Minor on the exit of turn 9. Larkin, Paula Brady right now in a fight for E8. A lot of penalties on the board right now, but we are now on the final lap of this race. Johnny Disco picks up a 3-second time penalty after multiple warnings, and ladies and gentlemen, that is going to cost him not one, but potentially 2, 3 positions. It's going to cost him not only his fight with Vlad Putin, but it could very well cost him the Diego Surf and Captain Minor behind and drop him to 4th position. This is unbelievable news. The final lap of the race. Henners combined, applying pressure to Victor Diaz. Things are very tight between the pair right now. Around the outside right now for Henners. Looking to the inside as we come through 15. Vlad Putin takes the checkered flag. Diego Surf, Captain Minor make the podium. Johnny drops to 4th as anticipated, and Henners and Victor Diaz have their drag race to the line combined is there as well. My oh my, Victor Diaz and combined 5 and 6, and Henners will take 7th. Paula, 8th position for Paula. Larkin, 5 seconds at the line. Will drop him, bringing Jay into 9th, and Larkin will finish in 10th until Spanini. Well, Spanini will not jump him. My, what a race. And what a finish. Vlad Putin will take the race win And on the final lap, Johnny Disco takes 3 seconds to set himself out of second position and into the 4th position slot, out of the podium completely. Diego Surf, what a recovery drive for him, and Captain Miner will round out the podium, making up a massive amount of position, 11 positions gained. Certainly the driver of the day in my book. Very, very solid efforts from everybody. While Florian Game Awarded Driver of the Day. Very interesting. I don't know how that I don't know how that happened. Wait, what? Oh, okay. That makes no sense. While Florian evidently on top. No, of course, Vlad Putin with the race win. Diego Surf taking the 2nd position. Captain Mike. My oh my. Unbelievable race. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Very solid stuff there. Well, that is going to wrap up the race. Let's take a look and see if we have some interviews. Man, that was some wild action. I do believe we are going to speak to Captain Miner. Just give me a moment to see if I can see any of the other guys tonight. All right. Alrighty, joining me in the commentary booth for an interview, it is Mr. Captain Miner for Mercedes. What a drive, 11 positions gained in this one. A serious charge and, well, a serious defense for quite some time against Diego Surf there, and then a penalty costing Johnny, bringing you into the podium. Wow, spectacular race. Talk us through it.
Well, first off, I want to thank my teammate Rhapsody for the excellent call, and to Siffy as well, who raced for McLaren in America's Tier 1. He helped me out. But yeah, I mean, the last few laps there against Diego Surf, I was sweating bullets. We were constantly and consistently, I think, separated by 5/10 for 8 laps straight. And you know, in the end, I did make a tiny mistake, but I think our battling was respectful, and I relished that. And of course, the penalty from Johnny too. That was a game changer, I think.
Yeah, 3 seconds for Johnny there. Final lap of the race. It was just coming through, I think, turn 3. And
Yep.
that really put you into a seat for this podium, and you were able to clinch it there in the end, holding on with Diego Surf. And it was a great battle between, of course, the pair of you. Given your starting position, did you think a podium was on the cards today at all? Because France, such a circuit, not necessarily known for overtaking, and then we have the weather dynamic that presented itself in this race as well. Were you
Yep.
prepared for the weather in this situation, or was it a complete shock to you?
Of course, anytime you know there's rain, it can be a complete shock. Luckily, we had a setup prepared over at Mercedes. So and it was obviously dialed in perfectly for the conditions. I felt very good both in the full wet and in the intermediates. Once we went to intermediates, I felt like I could really push super hard. But I feel like I've been pretty strong in the wet all season long, especially at Silverstone. I was despite my early mistake, I was able to I think showcase my pace, trading fastest laps with the leaders. Um, so I had a slight dream. There's always a chance for something to happen, and luckily all the dominoes fell in place today for my first podium of the season. So super happy about that.
Well, I have to say, it was a spectacular podium to boot. It was a very, very solid drive. I mean, given the race dynamic today, the weather dynamic, it is definitely one to remember. And so, congratulations once again, Captain Miner. Any last words for the chat or for the stream before we wrap things up?
Yeah, once again, want to thank my team. They've been super supportive the whole season. And of course, I want to thank MRL publicly for the thoughtful words last week, both on social media and during commentary. Last week was tough emotionally. And even though I didn't perform well, it was nice to know that this community has my back. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Captain Miner, and we'll have to see you next week for round 12. And best of luck and potentially another podium. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, we'll see. Thank you so much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap it up for, I do believe, our interviews this evening. And with that, it was a huge race. Congratulations to Dieg Surf, who took second position, and of course Vlad Batin, who did secure the race win. And I cannot wait to see how things unfold with our next race next week, of course, and that will be the Spanish Grand Prix, one of my personal favorites, a race filled with la pasión, as my good man Mr. Alejandro would say. And, well, we have not too many rounds left in the season. This is round 11, but of course I'll be back tomorrow night with you and of course Mr. Seb for the America's Tier 1 racing action, and of course you can catch some of the other racing here on the MRL throughout the week for the other European divisions. And with that, and without further ado, we'll wrap things up there and wish you well for the rest of your week, evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be joining us. Ciao, ciao for now.